Okay. Well, I actually took some notes just to kind of summarize some themes here, and it's quite exciting to see all that's happening and things converging almost in really a perfect storm. And I'll just start with kind of two examples here and how this fits. My parents. So actually, my father is actually participating in some of the studies that people have highlighted today. He was very excited. He's wants to get answers and help others get answers. He's 80 years old, and he actually likes things that happen through these different mechanisms, in part because it helps him understand what's happening with others like him and how the sense of contribution. My mother's, in contrast, she's a little bit distrustful. And so the example there is she actually got approached about Adaptable, which is studying aspirin in patients with heart disease. And she started asking questions about whether she should participate about that, including her son, who is the coordinating center PI for it, and a cardiologist. She actually didn't trust me. I told her it was a great idea. It was very at the beginning that we really need participants here. She did trust her cardiologist, and she actually trusted my wife. Between the three of them, excluding me, she ultimately decided not to participate for different reasons. But the reasons why she was participating was because of personal preferences. The reasons why she would have joined was actually because it fit her lifestyle, because she's very active, can't actually come in for site visits, for example, and could join a study like that. So that's why before she's always kind of said no, but that was what was exciting to her about it. But the point here between both of those is that we have come to this world of a one-size-fits-all. We're actually very regimented by that because of all the external forces here. We have all sorts of SOPs that are aiming to nail down any kind of variation around anything possible, and assuming that actually that improves accuracy, that's more like the real world. And so what I heard from today is that there are a number of things that don't actually fit the real world. And I totally agree with Steve in terms of the notion of virtual, when you look it up in the dictionary, is not what we're aiming for. We're actually aiming to get closer to the people where they live, and the mechanisms that people are showing and the methods here are really driving that. And so themes that have come out from today that is actually designing for the outcome, so including patient preferences or person preferences in terms of what is the research that they want to be part of, when do they want to be part of, and how will they be part of it. You also hear of themes where having motivated people join at the beginning will keep them in. So the Livongo example is like really incredible in terms of providing health information that is potentially actionable, but you have motivated people who are joining that effort. And so in the same way, can you do that for research? The ability to have complete outcomes. One of the things that has come up is for many of these types of studies, people can sign up very easily. To the question that was raised about, how many people sign up who have an application to follow their finances. Everyone raised their hand. Now the next question is, has anyone actually downloaded an app that they never used? I'm sure the same hands would be there. Has anyone stopped using an app in the last year? Everyone's hands generally go up. And so from that, I think it really comes out of what's the return of value? Do we have that science of understanding what's going to be something that's personalized and valuable to someone to keep them engaged throughout the course of a study, especially a long-term study in complicated areas like chronic conditions? And then finally, is we do need this decision tree in terms of fit for purpose versus retrofitting. We went through this example in Adaptable. We thought really smart. We understand electronic health records, all this stuff. And soon we figured out that we're missing about a third of the population that we could actually approach, because we were designing it in a way that was a traditional enrollment criteria, and not really thinking about what was happening as people have health encounters. And so you really have to have this decision tree in terms of what's the fit for purpose, how do you get to complete outcomes, ensuring that happens? What are you completely willing to let go of as opposed to adding on? And then being comfortable with very marked cultural differences for these types of studies, and also some risk. While there are high-level leaders who talk about, hey, all the components are there, when you get to various, whether it's within organizations or sponsors, regulatory agencies or institutions, there are various risk tolerances or perceived risk tolerances that people have that need to be overcome. Thanks.